As the Australian side is happy to explain, Barack Obama only had two one-on-one meetings yesterday, one with the Japanese host, the other with Julia Gillard. The meeting went longer than scheduled, 35 minutes, and they both came out of it speaking each other's praises. And I suppose that's to be expected in a sense. The US and Australia are on the same page. They talked about climate change, and obviously they're in exactly the same position with an ETS on hold and a cap-and-trade plan on hold. They talked about Afghanistan and the possibility of, well, not an exit strategy. We don't use that expression anymore. We use the term transition to Afghan control. And they talked about trade. And here's what both leaders had to say after the meeting later in the day.
In that meeting, I reaffirmed Australia's long-term friendship with America. We are good mates and we will continue to be good mates. And what that means is that we've got an agenda of work that the two countries will participate in.
The United States is here to stay. We are invested in your success because it's connected to our own. In this region, the United States sees a huge opportunity to increase our exports in some of the fastest growing markets in the world. For America, this is a job strategy.
So they might be great mates, Barry, but that won't stop the United States eyeing off Australia's export markets.
Now it's back to Canberra for federal parliament, and then what?
Well, obviously out of that meeting with Barack Obama, Julia Gillard scored an invitation to the White House. That will happen sometime early next year, in the first quarter of the year. But more immediately, the two leaders will meet again in Lisbon next weekend, which is a NATO meeting, and the focus very much there will be on Afghanistan and the way forward. Obviously, even more immediately, later today, there'll be further meetings here at APEC. And I can report, very sadly, journalists sometimes get what they wish for and aren't so happy about it after mocking the so-called silly shirts here at APEC for years. Last night at the official silly shirt event, everyone turned up in business suits.
And Mark, an Australian cameraman got the President's attention and a picture opportunity for the two leaders.
Yes, Barack Obama is well known as no drama Obama, and everything ended yesterday as the media was being shepherded out of the room. One of the Australians yelled out, "Thank you, Mr. President," and Barack Obama thought that was hilarious, and even more so when Julia Gillard said, "Oh, that was one of our Australian cameramen," and then the President said, "I knew it was an arsey because our press pack is not nearly as well behaved," and that's become something of an international talking point, and here's how Julia Gillard explained it later in the day.
Who was it in the camera crews that started out the call of "Thank you, Mr. President"? When the American camera crews came in to film the opening of APEC, they all sauntered out, tongues firmly in their cheeks, saying over their shoulder, "Thank you, Mr. President." So you've leveraged a permanent change in American media conduct. Good job, team.
Julia Gillard there in Yokohama.